So I want to encourage you to look a little bit more closely, because if you look close enough, you will begin to realize that there is good around you. You will notice that if someone gets sick, members begin to get organized. They come together and they visit the sick to give encouragement, to provide food. If you look around, you will begin to notice that if there is a family within the church family that is legitimately having financial difficulties, church members will band together to provide financial help. If you look closely, you will begin to notice that when there are people who will go out of their way to do good. I've even seen teachers sacrificing their personal time to help a struggling student. I've seen neighbors mowing the lawn of someone who is homebound. I have seen communities come together to fight a flood or fight a fire, or even provide the goods that are needed for those that are hit by the storm. If you look closely, you will see some good in our community. So, church, can I suggest that there are opportunities for us everywhere for us to learn to do good. You see, pay attention to what Paul is saying in this passage, because when you are tempted to do less than your best, or perhaps you are tempted to quit completely, you need to remember the words in this verse. The truth is that whenever we find ourselves tired of doing good, or feeling bent out, whenever we feel like we are losing our enthusiasm in the Lord's work, we must pay attention to the words in this scripture, because Paul is saying to us, let's not allow ourselves to get fatigued doing good. Paul is telling us here that this is our Christian calling. We are called to do good. That's what Christian living is all about. We Christians are not only believers, we must be doers. Christian life is about doing good. It's always too soon to quit doing good. It's never time to slack your efforts in doing good. So I went back to these verses and began to study them closely. I began to examine my own life, and I noticed that there are always opportunities around me to do good, to be gentle, to be honest. I also noticed that, as long as we are this side of heaven, God will give each one of us opportunities in life to do good, to be nice to somebody, to be honest in life. And I realized that these opportunities that come our way are really God's gifts to us, so that we can practice Christian living, practice how to live in heaven where everything is good. if I'm reading these verses correctly, within the context of our own day-to-day living, then I think Paul is saying to us that there will always be needs for you and me to show kindness and exercise mercy. Paul is saying to us, we are the ones who are supposed to provide the world with what they need. Let's not, therefore, give up on doing good. Paul is saying, let us work for the good of all. Now, what does that really mean? I think it means we should be helping those that do not understand the mission of our church. I think it means that we should help those that don't come from where we come from. I think it means that we should help those that don't look like us. It means that we must help those who don't measure up to our qualifications. I think it means that we must pay attention to help those that are even not within our class. I think it means that it doesn't matter what gender the person is. It doesn't matter where they come from, what color of their skin is, what race they are in. What Paul is saying here is, let us work for the good of all people. It means we should do good because we are exercising the law of Christ. What Paul is saying is, we must do good because it's good. We must do good because that's what Jesus would do. Can I ask you again to look at verse 9 and 10? Paul is saying to us, let us not lose heart in doing good, for in due time we will reap if we do not grow weary. So then, while we have opportunities, let us do good to all people, and especially those who are of the household of faith. You see, when I looked at this passage, it hit me. I think God really expects us to do good. And He expects us to do good to all people. I think what Paul is saying here is, you and me are God's agents in this world to do. I want you to remember here that Paul is writing to the Galatian church. That means he's writing to men and women, adults, those that are married and those that are single. I think he is writing here to the young people in the church, children, boys and girls. I think he is writing here to those that are leaders and the followers, to teachers and the students, to all those church members who are in the political arena. and those church members who are part of the social circle. Notice what Paul is saying in verse 10. He says, so then, all of you, leaders, followers, boys, girls, men, women, teachers and students, masters and slaves, so then, so often as we have a chance, we should do good to everyone, and especially those that belong to the faith family. Now, if you think about it doesn't make sense for us to be good out there in the world and mean in the house of God. You see what Paul is saying here is it must begin here. And the reports then will reach out into the world. Paul is saying here, we must begin acting good within the household of faith. And when we do that with those that we interact with on a day-to-day basis, we will be able to reach out in the community. And the community will see the good in us. And I noticed that God gave us instruction on how this thing works.